It's what you call a fantasy story, right? So it's a fantasy world made up by the author. The prince loved those kinds of stories. Okay, let's see. It says the young traveler was amazed by the world he saw. In this world, there is only one tribe. All people accept each other, and no soul is born into discrimination. Wow. So not even any fairies? I guess less differences means less to argue over. In such a world, there is no need for sorcery. A megapolis is built through learning and labor. Towers of glass that reach the heavens. Safe nights with no dark shadows. Busy streets well traveled. And in the laws of these emotionally satisfied people, it reads, all lives are equal. Whoa. You see, no magic, no tribal conflict, and equality for all? It really does sound like a fantasy. But it's strange to feel envious of a fictional world. Hey, are you asleep already? You know how hard it is for me to turn these pages on my own? Well, guess I'll just read more later. Good night.
Alright, I'll try to read this part now. In this country, the something king hears the voices of the city and protects their way of life. What's this say?
Society's purpose is to protect its citizens. This is a basic principle of this utopia. All are equal, all live in safety, and the rich and poor are as one. With no gaps, no conflict. All are friends, deserving of help. Basically, it's a place where there's no fighting, and everyone always gets along.
Wow. Where is this place? No one gets left alone there, right? I wish I could go. Can I read a little more?
We're probably not going to bed anytime soon.
Oh, interesting. It's written through the lens of a fictional land. This bit's about the Utopia's security. In this world, there is no blood-stained contest for sovereignty. The people choose their sovereign from among themselves. One cannot put a sovereign to the sword to seize power. Such an act would be met with scorn and judged as murder. Taking power or wealth by force is seen as the most shameful of transgressions. Couldn't be further from reality, could it? We've a Kingslayer on the brink of seizing the throne right now. And this idea of competing for public support. Here it sounds so commonplace, but the idea's thrown us all into chaos. Interesting. Perhaps I'm overthinking, but it sounds almost like the aim of the king's magic. You suppose there's some common inspiration? Still, I don't imagine this would turn out well in the real world. In public opinion, tribal perspective always divides us. Besides, does a decision made by the people guarantee it's right? Tribal squabbles aren't always political. Take us Clamars, for example. It can be hard for us to see outside the bubble of our own worldview. We're the majority, and the tribe of the royal bloodline besides. That privilege can make us insensitive. A problem with no easy solution, I fear. Lofty words. I can hardly come to terms with my own ideals. Still, the discussions helped clear my head a little. Thank you. I've been so fixated on killing Luis, but maybe we could look into whether that's really the only way to lift the curse. Sleep should come easier now. I think I'll give it another chance. Wait, how long have you been asleep?
So it is a fiction written as if a personal account. This chapter seems to concern the system by which the nation's leader is decided. In this country, one cannot become even a statesman, much less sovereign, without the consent of the people. Those who aspire to statecraft must first solemnly swear before the people what they will do in service of their country. Should they earn title but break their word, they are denounced and stripped of power. Such is the authority of the people. In this way, it is the people who are the land's true king. Quite the opposite of our own country. Now I see why our upper echelons would abolish such texts. Had our lands embraced such accountability, perhaps His Royal Highness would not have suffered such a fate. No. As a knight, it's not my place to say. I must clear my head of these fantasies. In the end, clinging to a dream will do me no good. Oh, I suppose 'tis not so bad to dream now and then. It takes power to walk the path of our dearest hopes. Perhaps that is the purpose of this newfound strength. My dearest dream. 'Tis to save His Highness, even at the cost of my life. Nothing more.
So, this is a fantasy novel. This section seems to describe the Utopia's approach to discrimination. Let's see here. In this world, discrimination and inequality are forbidden by law. It is a sin to impose injustice due to one's appearance, lineage, or birth. This is the accord established between the people and the state. Well, well. What a world that would be. I don't imagine our land will get there for another century or 5. Still, I cannot help but wonder whether those ideals would please an entire population. You cannot pretend at diversity without acknowledging individual differences. Some will be judged as strong, while others marked as weak. Equal competition doesn't mean equal footing. Their very aims of freedom and balance could spell doom for the striving weak. I wonder how we might ever achieve a true utopia, where everyone could be happy. If this awakened power is meant to be wielded in service of my beliefs, then, no matter who calls it naive or foolish, I will always use it to save the weak.
The prevailing culture of the world is one of freedom in all things. No faith, fealty, or philosophy enforces ideology. All are free to create, and all are free to embrace those creations. This culture's influence spreads throughout the world. It is even said that a song of peace was powerful enough to bring an end to war.
Oh, how inspiring.
It's hard to imagine that a single song could be so influential. I wonder what the world would be like if a song really could reach all people's hearts, no matter their status or tribe. We Nydia, we're all liars, you know. Everyone told us we were inherently worthless, just a fact of our birth. So I learned some glamours to make myself at least look valuable. This form, it's all just a fancy disguise, really. A gilded mask for the world to admire. Or not. No, do forgive me. That was all lies, lies, lies. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to reveal yourself entirely, but you should always have the freedom to. If these new powers are to give form to my ideals, I want to create a world where we can appreciate each other's freedom. I'll make sure everyone hears that in my songs, no matter what happens.
Despite all the people share in common, the world is filled with myriad faiths and beliefs. Accordingly, those in search of spiritual meaning may seek and find many different teachings to guide them. I see. So the people of this world are free to believe as they will. Anyone may follow any god, any dogma.
So basically the opposite of the Sanctus Church.
Our legends say that the ancient world was full of all manner of beliefs too. The people of Eld worshipped many gods from many pantheons. People confronted the anxiety that haunted them.
Thinking back, some of those figures in the temple murals may have been gods.
Yes, that mural depicting myriad gods is an explanation of how this world came to be.
But ultimately, war claimed everything. Suppose that means it wasn't much of a utopia, right?
Perhaps freedom unchecked gave rise to conflict. Either way, to know the past is to ensure history does not repeat. If we are to create a utopia rooted in our world, faith is not enough. We must move onward and take action as allies, because I believe that's how this must be used. This power that guides us to ideals. To walk forward, firmly, fearing nothing.
In this world, one can become anything they desire. Neither birth nor status decides your occupation.
Huh, sounds grand, that. You think this place really exists?
Of course not, you muppet. It's a fantasy, remember? Anyone is free to become anything. This is a paradise of equality and freedom, devoid of discrimination or prejudice. Pretty words, then. But if everybody's free to do what they want, they'll work out their own reasons to be prejudiced. You can call it a utopia, but I reckon people living in it might romanticize our world too. At the end of the day, dreaming of escape will only ever be a dream. Nothing changes unless you do it with your own hands.
Aye. But if we really could do anything, I quite fancy opening up a little diner with you, Del. You like singing, eh? And I'm dead handy with a cook pan. We could invite Lady Juna over. Host a fancy soiree of our own. Every night, just us and our best mates living it up. You telling me you don't like the sound of that?
Get your head out of the clouds, Baz. We're long past being able to get away with that. Doesn't matter anyway. A dream is just a dream.
The last chapter is about the ruler of a utopia. The one who governs this utopia must have an unwavering will. To maintain justice in this world, there are innumerable obstacles to overcome. Yet, as long as one lives by their ideals, those who support them are sure to follow. A utopia is not the creation of a single mind or a single power. It is a world shaped by all its people. The last part sounds a little more metaphorical. There's a little more. However, even a utopia may one day fray at the edges, and its people may come to conflict over the question of what is right. What is a true utopia? What is a true ruler? None have yet found the answers to these questions. So even the author of this book struggled with these questions. And if you become king, you'll have plenty of tough questions and struggles to face yourself. Lady Cruiday mentioned the king was a real idealist when he first arrived at the village, that little by little, the pains of reality crushed his hope. And he even lost his son. In the end, his will was broken. He didn't lift a finger to stop the church's rise to power. With that in mind, I can honestly see why people would be drawn to Luis. His values are radical and cruel, but he's devoted to them. Unshakable, even. But we can't lose either. For the sake of everyone who has believed in us along the way.
Right.
You've got the power to change the world. And the one who gave it to you was, well, yourself. And that's what I'm going to help you with. That's my mission. My real mission. And I'm going to see it through.